Good afternoon everyone and welcome to episode 6 of the M Word. My name is Robin and I'm the Technical Director at Manimission UK and I'm really glad to have everyone with me this afternoon. So firstly, apologies about last week. We had a last minute issue with internet connections here, so we were unable to run the session last week, but we're going to make up for it this week because we're going to talk about AutoCAD 2023. Hooray! Party poppers, etc, etc. So yeah, the first of the 2023 releases have come out this week. So naturally, make sure you're following us in all the social media channels, because as we are allowed to through the embargo, so on and so forth, we'll be releasing the new features, videos, tips and tricks and what have you on there for you to all see. And also make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Hit the little bell to be notified, because there's lots of videos going up over the coming weeks as the products like AutoCAD 23, Vault 23, Inventor 23 and more get released into the channel. It's always an exciting time of year for me, because we get to see all the new features and technology that's coming out. And for me, this year's already thrown some fantastic tools into the channel with the 2023 releases. For example, if I pick Autodesk Vault, for instance, has a new feature called Vault Gateway. Check our YouTube channel out for a video on how to set up and how to work that particular tool set. But what Vault Gateway allows you to do is use Autodesk Vault without a VPN when you're not in the office, which is an absolute game changer for any of you that have been working at home, working during lockdown, working during isolation, or whatever it might be. To do that with Vault without needing a VPN connection via a secure gateway is a game changer. So check that out if you're a Vault user. But today, what we thought we'd do is focus on good old vanilla AutoCAD, good old plain AutoCAD, and have a look at 3 of the new features that really come with inside of this year's release. So not going to be a hugely long session today, 10-15 minutes or so, but hopefully you'll see something here inside of AutoCAD 2023 that really speeds up a workflow or makes you more productive in some way. These aren't all of the new features, by the way, in AutoCAD 23. I've just picked 3 that I particularly like, or that for me stand out more than any other. So without further ado, let's just minimize my face, there we go, to the corner, and we'll share the screen. Fantastic. And the first thing you'll notice is the new look and feel for the different logos, icons, lookups, whatever you want to call them, for the Autodesk software this year. I was in 2 minds initially. I didn't know whether I liked it or not. I'm coming around to it. I actually think they're really crisp, they're really clean, and they really match the new sort of dark branding of the Autodesk look and feel that they've released at the back end of last year. So yeah, I like it, and that's the first thing that you'll see when you install these things, is everything starting to match that style and that brand, which looks really, really nice. So I'm just going to launch it up, new splash screen, so on and so forth. And if you're stuck on how to install AutoCAD 2023, again, go ahead and look on our YouTube channel. I put a YouTube video up on the release day on the 29th that showed you how to install it. It's literally under 5 clicks now. You can get 2023 installed onto your system, so it's really straightforward, so long as you have admin rights. So once we're actually in, it's a very, very familiar look and feel that we have. So you got the new branding up at the top here. So rather than a file menu, we have an AutoCAD new logo at the top. But generally speaking, the general look and feel of this application remains very much the same as it was. Okay. So once you're in the application, you get your recent files, and for the purpose of this, I'm going to open up this one just here on my screen and just say do not show proxy graphics for the purpose of this. This is a DWG that's exported from Revit, so I've got a couple of things that it's trying to load in the background, but they don't really matter for this example. So the first thing I want to push inside of AutoCAD 2023 is the ability to split out your files that you have open and your views that you have active in AutoCAD onto multiple screens, so you have much better support for multi-monitor, and then the ability to control what you're doing with those screens, which, depending on how you're working or what you're doing in that model, could really be beneficial. So I've just got one file open here, but what I'm going to do is open up another file tab to start a new drawing. And then with the original one, this Office Downstairs file, I'm just going to click and drag. So click, hold and drag will give me that in a separate floating window. This window is resizable, so we can make it as big, oops, try not to snap it back in place, as big or as small as we may want to. And that is absolutely scalable across multiple screens. I know you can't see my second monitor that I have here, but if I pull that out to the right-hand side, you'll have to take my word for it, it's scaled across 2 monitors now, and scaled pretty nicely. So for those of you that have kind of a Powerwall setup with 3 or even 6 monitors, really nice ability to scale that across. The other thing that you can do is sometimes you want to copy and paste or work from 2 drawings at the same time. And if I try and do this inside of AutoCAD, what's going to happen is as soon as I click back in this back window, it's going to hide that Office Downstairs file. If we right click on the title bar of that floating window in 2023, you get a few new options. So if I say pin, this will now be pinned in place. It will remain on top of my AutoCAD interface no matter what I try and do. That is now pinned in position on AutoCAD. That means I can come into this drawing, I can grab some components. Let's just do a Control Shift and C to copy with base point. Maybe we're going to do that on these lines here. Control Shift and C, copy with base point, and I'm going to paste that down to 100, 100 inside of my new window. Okay, so we've got the ability to start working with multiple files open at the same time, but actually work in a way that works quite nicely. Yes, I know in AutoCAD you can split your viewports to single, double, triple, so on and so forth, but this is a separate file that we're able to have floating in tandem and work on it as we see fit, which, whether you're mechanically biased, architecturally biased, whatever it might be, this gives you a really nice workflow. To turn that off, we can either click the drawing pin at the top, or we can right click and say unpin. Really nice tool. I like that inside of 2023. It works nicely and it builds on some of the previous functionality you've seen before. On that right click menu, we can also save as, close. So it's taken the basic tools from the top of the menu bar up here. Or we can copy the path or open the file location in Windows Explorer should we want to. We can do that in multiple files. So if I keep opening drawings, so let's open a new drawing here and draw a really detailed circle. Let's open a new drawing here and draw a really detailed square, and a third drawing, lines, arcs, circles and squares. Lovely. Let's take all of those and drag them all into floating windows. Pin, pin, pin. I have one on this screen over here. I have this one down here in the corner. I have this one down here in the corner. And we can actively work whilst having these pin drawings wherever it is that we want them. And the top to bottom order will be the last one you pin will go to the top. But generally speaking, really nice. I like it. It works well. It just enables that next level of workflow for you if you're not already using something like that, especially if you don't have 2 monitors, for example. Let's move this back to the File tab and just focus on this file for now. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I want to show you is some advancements to the count functionality in AutoCAD. And to show this, I'm just going to create a couple of blocks. And we're just going to do this really on the fly. So let's imagine that we've got a simple block that represents maybe a desk. So let's say that we want to have this around about 990 long by, I don't know, how deep's a desk, 600, something like that, 660. So there's our desk. With that desk, I'm going to select it. I'm just going to say that I want to turn that into a block. Let's call it desk. Let's specify a base point to the bottom corner here, and let's press OK. Whilst we're in there, maybe we'll also create a chair. We're just going to represent that with a circle. Maybe we're going to represent that with a 250 diameter. And then again, with that one, we're going to select it. We're going to create a block, and we're going to call this stool. I'm creating these from scratch naturally for the purpose of this example, just to show you how it works from the beginning without any smoke and mirrors in the way, but this would work with your existing blocks quite nicely. And then what we're going to do is use the insert command to essentially go and insert, typically, I've already got a load of blocks in there, go and insert that desk. Tell you what, I'm going to copy and paste it. Let's go and grab that, Control Shift and C, or copy a base point, to copy that across. And I'm just going to paste some of those around my model. Okay. I'm not going to be overly accurate. I'm going to put a few in this room in the back. This is our training room here. So I'm going to fill that full of very roughly placed desks. This is a similar room here, but set up in a slightly different way. And then maybe let's do the same thing with this stool here. So let's come and paste this in. A couple in this room, a few in this room, and a few in this room. So what we can do using count in AutoCAD, first of all, is start getting it to work for us and start giving us some feedback. So if you just type count on the command line, hit OK, the first thing it's now going to ask you to do is specify an area. So this is going to look to define a location in which you want to count. So I actually want to count everything within my 2 training rooms, because this is one room with a removable partition in the middle. Our HQ here in Tame. So I'm just going to do a very rough and ready selection. You can see it just grays out the window there around that location. And then I can select my target object. So I want to count my desks. I'm not fussed about the chairs for now. I could count them as well, but just do the desks. Press return. And we get this really nice interface whereby it grays out the rest of the drawing, it highlights the components for me. I can see I have a count of 14. And then if you want to, I can flick through each one of these individually, which will just do a zoom extent to that object and allow me to see what's going on, which is really, really nice. I have some additional functionality here. So if I want to change the area, I can say change the area and just show me how many I have within 1/2 of the training room. It shows me 8. I can come in and say that I want to select the components that I've counted. I can come in and say that I would like to insert the count field. Let's just track off the bottom of there, just here. Press the tick. I promise you the text is there. It's just really, really small because I chose a funny scale. What I should have done is choose an annotative scale, which would have scaled that up automatically. If you don't know what annotation scaling is or annotative scaling, check out our previous episode 5 I think it was, and we looked at annotation scaling there. But it will insert a little field to show you the count, which is really, really nice. Now, other things that you can do is count multiple objects at once. So if we type in count once more, again do the area. So let's grab the whole of that downstairs area now. Select the objects, which will be these 2. Hit enter, it will go and, okay, let's try that again. Count, select the area, there to there, thank you, and we're going to select this object and this object, go. Okay, typically AutoCAD now says no, which is good. Demo ghost, there he goes again. So, yeah, okay, we'll just do the chair instead then. Thank you very much. So it doesn't matter what object you do it in, whether it's one or the other, it will start counting those objects and allow you to go through. It does give you some particular warnings here or information based on what you've got selected. So if you've got two objects on top of each other, it will recognize that. You can tell it to match the layer, match the scale, match the mirror state. So you've got the ability to really come in here with 2023 and go to town with the kind of options that you get on there, which is great. Again, it takes functionality that was there and it really goes to town, meaning that if you're coming in and actively drawing how a shop fit out is, for example, where you've got a component which is a shelf with another shelf on top of it and another shelf on top of it in a vertical count, we can actually come in here and define with count that that particular area has 3 components in there. Okay, and based on that, it will come in and show me that that we've got those components that are overlapping one another in here. Okay, so it's one stool, but there's 2 overlapping, 3 in total. We can come in and select those objects. We can kill them off and delete them. But again, nice bit of functionality in there that really allows you to start looking at what you've got in the drawing, reporting on that in your drawing, and trying to get some information out, which is really useful. So that was the second one I wanted to show you. The third one is my absolute favorite, but in typical live session fashion, I went through before we came on just to make a specific example, as you can see here, and it decided that it wasn't going to work and kicked me out with regards to my subscription. So I'm literally just going to close AutoCAD and just restart it. I've asked a couple of my colleagues upstairs to see if they can quickly reassign me a different license. I don't know if they've been able to. My pocket's been buzzing like mad, so I'm hoping they have, but if they haven't, we'll come back and do another video of it anyway. But this is the ability to be a bit more collaborative inside of AutoCAD. So AutoCAD 23 has a few benefits when it comes to collaboration this year. So if you're a Vault user, you will see a better insight from AutoCAD into Vault and better ways in which Vault and AutoCAD interop with each other. So I'm not showing that today. I'll save that for when we do a Vault session, but that's something that you will notice with 23. As with last year, the growth on the Autodesk docs and the Autodesk Construction Cloud functionality and interoperability with AutoCAD is constantly growing, so you should check that out as well. But from this perspective, we're looking at the Traces tool inside of 23. And this for me is probably my favorite feature this year because it's something that actually is really useful to start automating and start doing pretty nicely inside of AutoCAD. So what Traces and Markup Import allows you to do is take a drawing which is printed out onto A0, A1 or whatever it might be, and go through and make some markup. So I don't know if you can see on here, I've scribbled in a couple of pieces of markups that take up some, they take revision clouds, some leaders and some text, things like that. And what I've done is I've scanned that just using my iPhone and the Apple Notes app. I've just scanned that as a document, which now exists here on my desktop as a scanned document. So by all means, this isn't a very well scanned document. Firstly, I printed it in yellow. Rule number 1, don't print your AutoCAD drawings in yellow. I'm sure someone taught me that about 20 years ago, but never mind. Either way, I've got some basic red line markup on here or black line markup in my particular case. And what we can do, fingers crossed all being well, is import this markup into AutoCAD. Again, if this doesn't work because of my subscription, I apologize. I won't dawdle on the point. We'll do another video later on and just stick it on YouTube. So watch for that on the channel. But if I say markup import, yeah, doesn't work. Bit disappointed in that. Apologies. There's something up with my subscription that literally kicked off 10 minutes before we went live. So what that will do is it'll import my PDF markup into AutoCAD. That PDF markup will then be visible inside of AutoCAD, and I can use the Traces palette to come on and tell AutoCAD where is the feedback that is in that scan, so we can get it to start identifying the handwritten notes or the handwritten markup on there and pulling it into AutoCAD so AutoCAD recognizes it as a revision cloud or a leader or a comment or whatever it might be. It's really nice, it works really well, it kind of using that OCR scanner technology that you've seen inside of Autodesk Build, BIM 360 Docs previously, and other bits and pieces as well. Clearly, it's not going to work for me today. There's something gone on with my my NFR subscription, so I do apologise for that. But as I say, what we'll do is we'll just fire another video online a bit later today once we've resolved that issue and go through that again. So just remember to go and check out our YouTube channel, put on the notifications, and you'll see that pop up in there as well. So they're the two that I was going to show you, minus the one that hasn't worked very well, so I do apologise for that. But there's a wealth of other new features there inside of AutoCAD. And if you've installed it and you don't quite know where to start, head over to the Help drop-down at the top right of the screen. Go ahead and hit on Help. And right at the top there, you'll be taken to a quick references. And inside that references, right at the top, it says what's new in AutoCAD 2023. There's a little video that you can go and watch if you want to from Autodesk. There's a list of new features, and as you can see, there's a fair few. I've only focused on a few of them, but generally speaking, there's something in there for everyone, whether you're doing markups, whether you're using 2D graphics displaying, whether you're using counters I've just shown you. There's even functionality improvements for Sheet Set Manager this year, which work really, really well. So go and check those out. My personal one to note is this Macro Advisor, which starts giving you advice on macros to run and save your time a little bit. But yeah, either way, that's kind of what I wanted to show you, minus the markup import, which annoyingly doesn't want to play ball. So we'll sort that out later and jump back on later on. So I've got a comment actually from Alan David. Afternoon, Alan. Can you Inventor live? I could if you want me to. So bit off topic. I've got 9 minutes left. I like a challenge. Yes, I can Inventor live. I don't have 2023 installed yet. It's in my download list because that came out yesterday. So I can't show you 2023 Inventor today. Save that one for next week. But absolutely, if you want me to do Inventor live and show some specific parts, I am more than happy to do so, but I didn't plan to. So perhaps I can just wing something on the fly. I've got Ellie looking at me in the corner saying, what are you doing? This wasn't in the plan. But hey, we like going off piece every now and again. Why not? Inventor, 3D modeling tool, allows you to parametrically model, freeform model, T-spline model, you name it. It's the go-to tool for manufacturing design inside of the Autodesk space. Actually, inside of any space, not just Autodesk, any space. It's a great tool. Whether you're an engineer that's doing a very specific design, a large design, a factory layout design, it's there to enable you to create parts and assemblies, so on and so forth. And what I'm going to do, as this is really off the cuff, is I'm going to do something really off the cuff and create something in freeform. You don't often see it in Inventor. So let's go ahead and create a box, a T-spline box. We specify a work plane, we specify a base point for the box, and it gives me this kind of blob mesh that I can start working on. Shift and middle mouse spins this around, so I'm literally just going to eyeball this. Alan, I'm not doing anything specific, completely unprepared, but you gave me a challenge. And I want to promote comments. Send me a comment within reason, and I'll do it within reason. So here we go. There is a box. We can split this into faces, right? So we can have as many faces left and right as we want to. So let's say 3 to the left, 3, yeah, why not? 3, 3, and I don't know, 5, like 5, good number. We can turn on symmetry, so I'm going to have length symmetry along that if I want to, or width symmetry. We can turn that on separately. So let's just leave them off. Hit OK. No, we don't want to use Volt. And there we have our box. Once we're in freeform mode or T-spline mode, we've got all of the different options on our ribbon at the top, where we can come in and start making changes to this. So we've got an edit form button, and on that edit form, we can start picking this up and tweaking things. But before I do so, I'm going to turn on symmetry. We just select 2 faces. So I select a face this side, a face this side. It picks up a symmetrical plane, and I press OK, meaning whatever changes I make on one side will scale across both sides of the model. From there, I don't know, what should we make? Aeroplane. Seems sensible. Let's edit form, hold down Control, and select multiple faces this side. Click and drag will allow you to make some subtle changes. If I hold down, I forget what it is, it's been a while, Alt. There we go. If you hold down Alt, it will create new. So I can extrude rather than pulling, basically. So we'll pull a little bit, we'll extrude a little bit, we'll put a little bit more. We've got some rotation and scaling here, so maybe we'll rotate this backwards a little bit. Maybe we'll scale in a little bit, move it backwards. Ooh, not quite that much. Move it backwards a bit more. Lovely. Maybe do another extrude out. Great. Bit of a scale down again. Perfect. Head to a top view. Yeah, it doesn't look so bad. Kind of looks like the top view of a Vulcan bomber, which is a really nice plane. Shame that doesn't fly anymore, but we've got something that looks like that. Perfect. Hit OK. I'm going to edit the form again and just pick up these central faces this time. And once again, let's just pull them out a little bit to begin with, then hold Alt and extrude. A bit further than that. Maybe have it down at the nose a little bit, make it a bit futuristic, and scale it down. If this looks like a plane when I'm finished, I'm going to be remarkably pleased with myself, just winging it like this. But hey, we'll see how we get on. Edit form again. Let's pick up these two for a kind of cockpit. That will need to be extruded a little bit, like so. Yeah, that works. Maybe just shift it backwards a tiny bit. Great. That's okay. Yeah, like that. I need a tail fin. Let's grab that one and extrude that up. Again, hold down Alt to extrude these rather than pulling them. Something like that. That works, doesn't it? Something like that looks good. Let's okay on there. Maybe just pull them backwards a little bit as well. Ooh, careful. Yeah, something like that. Brilliant. Looks really nice. Ooh, bit of a bizarre shape, but hey ho. We're going to call it a plane. I think it looks like a plane. Many wouldn't. And you can also, when you're extruding, you can go inwards as well, right? So when I'm grabbing this, if I pull it inwards, it will move it in. If I hold Alt and pull, it will create a hole. So I can sort of start extruding this inwards to create, oh, that didn't work at all, undo, try that again. Alt and pull it inwards, there we go. To create an extrusion in where maybe the engine will go. That will do. And then maybe to finish this off, we'll do one either side for some vents. Again, a bit unplanned, a little bit winging it, but hey, I always say give us a comment and we'll do something. So the first time I got a comment, I was going to jump at the opportunity to do something. So beautiful. It looks like a plane. So great, yeah, I like it. So let's say material, nope. Appearance, nope. Finish form, sorry. Finish freeform. Let's have an appearance. Let's set this to be, where are we? Foil gold. Yeah, lovely. Ooh, not lovely. Red. Make it red. There we go. Make it dark red. We'll go to view. We'll go to visual style, realistic, perspective. Shadows are, no, not shadows. Reflections. Yeah, reflections on. It looks transparent, but hey, I kind of like it. Alan, yes, I can Inventor live. Keep those comments coming and we'll make these sessions as specific as you want to be. I'm sure you didn't want to see a freeform plane, Alan, but that's what you got. Hope that's useful. But yeah, sorry that the AutoCAD traces didn't work. I'll figure that out. We'll get my subscription fixed and we'll push that up later today or tomorrow onto our YouTube channel. Again, get on there and like, subscribe so you can see when that goes live. But other than that, it's Fake Friday for me today, so happy days. Off to see Hogwarts at the Harry Potter Studios tomorrow. Cannot wait. Probably come back with wands and stuffed Hedwigs and stuff like that, but who cares? Happy days. And we are back live next Thursday, 2 o'clock, and maybe we'll do Inventor 2020 to 2023. Maybe we'll do Vault 23. Haven't decided yet, but if you want to see... no, I can't do clutch and diesel simulation, Alan. Thanks for the question. We'll save that one for another day. But thank you all for your time. Been great. Take care. Stay safe. See you soon. Goodbye.